Now, police are investigating reports of violence at an historic RAF airbase that's set to house up to 2,000 migrants. Officers from Lincolnshire Police attended RAF Scampton in the early hours of Sunday morning. The site was the home of the Dambusters in World War II, of course, and the local council is fighting plans to move migrants there from April. Well, our East Midlands reporter Will Hollis is at RAF Scampton. Will, welcome to the show. A story that's captivated GB News viewers since the beginning. What's the latest?
Yes, well, at the centre of the Scampton story, it is the Home Office trying to move asylum seekers into the historic airbase. And despite developments over the last year, often the news is incidents around the periphery that are taking the spotlight. In particular, things like antisocial behaviour, incidents including arrests in the past, and even one incident that regarded a petrol bomb being found. But over the weekend, Lincolnshire Police says they are now investigating reports of assault at a number of protester sites around the airbase. It's important to say that RAF Scampton has attracted a lot of attention from a lot of different groups, some that live here close by, just outside the gates, others groups from around the country, and all have come here for different reasons, and at times there has been friction between them. But these latest allegations claim that masked people came in the middle of the night and assaulted a number of people in some incidents, quite simply pushing people, telling them to leave a particular campsite right in front of the gates of Scampton. In other incidents, accusations of full-on assault where people have been punched. Now, one of the people who says that she and her husband Paul were assaulted was Sarah Carter, who is one of the original founders of the Save Our Scampton campaign and a prominent voice in the campaign around Scampton.
Well, there were so many people there that I can only remember one of them wearing a bandana across their face. I can't remember seeing masks, but again, 12 people all over the place. When you're in a state of panic, it's hard to take everything in. I did recognise faces, and the police are aware of those people, who they are. But yeah, they decided to come in, didn't even sort of nicely ask, this is ours, can you leave? 12 against 2, yeah, we're not going to stick around. But they didn't even give us a chance to have the conversation. One of the guys just decided he was going to sort of launch Paul onto the floor across the top of a chair. Then he managed to get up and he threw him into like this big wooden box that we had that it was full of fence panels with nails in that we'd just chopped up for the wood for the fire. Put him in there, and that's where he's got most of his injuries from, being sort of put in there. He managed to get away, get to his car. They tried to get into his car, but they then sort of left him alone. But in the meantime, I sort of had a bit of a scuffle, lost my body cam in the process. Didn't want them to take or damage my phone, which is what they were trying to get. So I'm not quite sure. I ended up on the floor in the sort of trying to get away from them.
Well, Lincolnshire Police says that they have not yet made any arrest in relation to Sarah's particular incident, but they are investigating those reports. They're asking anybody who may have dash cam footage and may have been travelling along the road where RAF Scampton is, the A15, if they do have anything from over the weekend, particularly around Saturday night and Sunday, particularly in the small hours between those 2 days at the weekend, as well as across Sunday when more allegations of assault have happened. They're asking those people to send in footage. As I mentioned, there are a number of protest groups with different ambitions around what they think should happen here at RAF Scampton, and the police are reminding those people and asking them to treat each other respectfully, whether that's their own personal safety and well-being, as well as their property and the space that they are using. It's important, I suppose, to remind remind you of what is happening with the RAF base, RAF Scampton. Back in the late part of last year, a judicial review was unsuccessful. It is expected that asylum seekers will be moving into RAF Scampton in as early as April. West Lindsey District Council is going to appeal that decision, and we can expect that there will be lots more news around what will happen here if asylum seekers will ever move into RAF Scampton.
Okay, Will Hollis, thanks for that update live from RAF Scampton. Just want to say Sarah Carter and those locals who've been camped at that site for many, many weeks now throughout very, very cold weather have been protesting peacefully, respectfully. They've been causing no trouble. We've been following the story on GB News for many, many, many weeks. And now it appears the police reporting there and Sarah directly to GB News. Masked intruders, assailants from outside the area, they claim, assaulting them. Very, very serious situation if locals peacefully protesting or being harangued by people wearing masks from outside the area. That's a story we'll be sure to keep all across in this hour across GB News for the rest of the day. Let's hope the police investigate and have a swift resolution of justice on that front.